You know, when I was growing up, my parents, I think, did a pretty decent job of teaching me to respect my elders and respect them. I always did a pretty good job at that. I remember my brother got out of line once and he paid the Sicilian price, but that's a whole other story. But you know, what better respect can we pay to our parents and our grandparents than to make sure that they are well taken care of into their senior years? And this is one of the reasons why Always Best Care is in existence, to help us do a better job, us being the baby boomers. Joining me on the show, Angela Encarnacion. She's the manager of Always Best Care in San Mateo. ABC, Always Best Care, is a nationwide franchise where they help individuals take care of the elderly. Angela, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. I know you are extremely passionate about this, and I've learned a lot from your organization, and I've become quite passionate about it as well. As my mom passed about 4 years ago, but my father is still alive and kicking, and at almost 90, pretty doggone healthy. And so this is one of those areas where it's so important to either have the resources already available to you or know where to go to get the resources, and that's what you do.
That is correct. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So talk about that. I want you to talk to all of us baby boomers today and explain why what you do and what Always Best Care does is so critically important, and why procrastinating, which we baby boomers are pretty darn good at, may not be so healthy for our aging parents.
Okay. So I like when you said procrastinating. Not that I like the word, but you know, with senior care, it takes a lot of planning. It happened to my family. Before we know it, everything escalated, and we were so lost. I was kind of in the starting stage of my running Always Best Care. So now, when I say planning, we should ask our parents, Mom, Dad, what do you want to do? Would you like to be staying at home, or would you like to be transferring to an assisted living or a care home? You know, for all of us, there is really no place like home. So, and that is one service that we offer, non-medical in-home care.
So can you hang on a second? Can you just explain that real quick? Because so many of us think of nursing homes and assisted living facilities, et cetera, but really, with a little bit of help, most people can get significantly better treatment, live longer, healthier, and happier by staying at home. So what do you mean by that non-medical care?
Great. Okay. So non-medical care. So our company, Always Best Care, provides help for or caregivers from as little as meal preparation, assisting in the showers, just companionship, somebody to talk to. We have caregivers, staff members, care team members to be able to help an elderly to be able to stay in his or her respective home. And when care level gets a little more complicated, maybe needing help with ambulation or walking, exercises, that is also one thing that we will be able to help out in the home, meaning giving that person, giving back that person independence, as what we will call it. And then also, if the care level gets a little very more complicated, then we will be able to help out with, you know, personal care. Somebody is not able to go to the bathroom. Somebody is not able to take a shower. We have caregivers. We have staff members to be able to do personal care, sponge bath, you know, bed bath.
You know, this is
for incontinence.
This is such an important job. My guest, Angela Encarnacion, she's the manager of Always Best Care up in the Bay Area. 855-470-CARE is her number, and it's a nationwide organization. So wherever you are today listening or watching this program, this is a fantastic service. Now, Angela, I noticed in your bio that you have a special spot in your heart for Alzheimer's patients. Many people, like my father, for example, very healthy, physically speaking, but obviously his memory is starting to slip. We don't know where that's going to go. Can you talk about Alzheimer's for just a moment and how you can interface with a potential Alzheimer's patient?
Okay, well, for a fact, we share one thing in common. My mom also had Alzheimer's. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us. When she had Alzheimer's, my family didn't know what was going on, not having enough information about it. We were like pushing her to eat, pushing her to take a shower on her own, but little that we know that it was Alzheimer's. Anyway, so with our team, with our care team, we have caregivers, very well trained and experienced to help out family members, not only the sick elderly who has Alzheimer's, but also the family members to be able to give support, talk to the elderly who has Alzheimer's. These are the things that Always Best Care specializes in.
What's interesting is my dad was waking up in the middle of the night and walking out the front door looking for the cats, which was kind of interesting. And his caregiver, we have an individual that spends some time with him when the rest of the family cannot, said, well, you know what? If you put a big rug in front of the door, something psychological goes on and he won't do it. And I said, yeah, sure. Honestly, it's actually worked. He gets up sometimes, but since he can't really reach the doorknob, he doesn't kind of walk around it, and he hasn't been going out at night. And I found that little trick to be something that curbed what could have been a very dangerous situation, because I don't want my father walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning out in the middle of nowhere looking for his kitty cats that are probably asleep under the bed.
Right. Well, with Alzheimer's, the patients with Alzheimer's, people with Alzheimer's, they have their own little world. So just for a minute, if somebody is having some kind of an episode, just for us to be able to go in their world and just go with whatever they're saying and make sure with that component they are safe. We want to be able to go with what they're thinking, with what they're feeling. It's only for a few minutes. And then once that person comes down, then he will be okay. Everything will be good.
It's so important. Angela Encarnacion, she's the manager of Always Best Care. 855-470-CARE. 855-470-2273. AlwaysBestCare.com is the website. It's a fantastic service that you offer. Now let's talk about the costs for just a moment, because so many people are just afraid of this non-medical care, how much it costs, and so many people want to take that job on themselves, whether they're qualified to do that job or not. But what I have found is most of us either don't have the time, don't have the qualifications, or the costs are even higher because it prevents us from doing the things that we need to do with our families, with our jobs, and so forth. So how do you help manage the costs of this kind of care? You've got about a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, how to manage the cost. So when we come and meet with the parents, we go back. What kind of job did your parents do? For a lot of the people in my area, they have long-term care insurance, or some of them work as military. So there are benefits that we can tap in order for us to be able to afford care. And then also, as part of the assessment, we figure out what is the busiest time for the main caregiver. And if that's the busiest time, then we kind of direct them and saying, okay, this is the busiest time, let our caregiver help you. 4 hours will be good, bathing him, preparation of meals, doing the laundry, just so the family member will have some time for herself. So, figuring out everything and planning accordingly, planning way ahead of time will definitely reduce the cost. There is a lot of ways to be able to figure this out.
Angela Encarnacion, I want you to contact Always Best Care. If nothing else, get an assessment. They don't charge for any assessments, and they can come in and take a look at the at the house and the arrangements and whether or not there's any danger in terms of slipping and falling and the bathing arrangements and so forth, because it's going to happen sooner or later to most of us. So here's what I want you to do. Go to alwaysbestcare.com, get your no-cost assessment, or simply call Angela at 855-470-CARE, 855-470-2273. One of the most important decisions you'll ever make, and you heard Angela talk about how important long-term health care insurance is. That's another biggie. Angela, thank you so much. Got to run. We'll be back, folks. Don't go away. This is The Ray Lucia Show.